What is up, everybody? Welcome in to the stream. Today, exciting stuff. It may look like it's just me today, but it's not. We have Drew joining us yet again. For those that remember, he was here at the premiere of this podcast. How are we doing today, Drew?
Nice. It's sunny. It's warm, but it's Phoenix, so that's no surprise.
Yeah, I mean, the tarmac usually melts
Sorry.
over there. So, okay.
Well, it's still warm to me. I came from Minnesota.
So there you go. Okay, so today, guys, we have an exciting show lined up. So basically, we're going to be going through our summer releases and what to expect in the future here, and some fun news regarding Grand Theft Auto, a possible Titanfall 3, and an Exorcist reboot. That is the plan today. So yeah, we're gonna start off this with saying, are video games too expensive? As you guys understand that right now with the PS5, games have clearly gone up in price, and basically $70 your standard game now. And so you get PS5 games. I don't even know with PS4. Drew, you still play PlayStation 4, right?
Yes, I still have PS4. I have an Xbox Series X.
And what are those
S.
standard? Are they still 60 or are those also 70?
The PS4 and Xbox One games are still $60.
$60. Okay. So yeah,
Yes.
$70. So and Sony is now generating record-breaking revenues from consoles, but have taken a huge hit, substantial hit on selling games. And that comes with the economy right now. Things are not too great. And then you got $10. And although it may just seem like $10, it's kind of a big deal. I mean, would you pay $70 for your game?
Depends on the situation. If it's a game that has no bugs, which no game does,
Right.
then possibly.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, it may just be only $10, but I'm kind of finding that $70 is kind of crazy just for the standard game.
In some cases, with how buggy games, most games aren't even worth $50 or even 40 to me.
Totally. I gotta say, DLCs, I mean, it used to be, and I remember, and we're like the same generation here, which is like, we grew up with like $30 games. Like 30 was like crazy even back then. It was like, oh wow, this game's $30. And if you remember, it was like $29.99, and then things started going to 30s, then 40s, and somehow we've made it to 70. It's like
something's wrong here.
Yeah, like seriously, like $70. I used to spend $70 if I wanted to spend 70 on a game. I would get like a steel book with it, and I could get like all the other perks with it. Now it's the base.
I remember buying a Game Boy Color at the time for $75.
There you go. Things have changed. You know what I mean? Like $70 just for a base game is just obviously too much. And then you charge the DLC. I'm starting to hate this whole like concept of a DLC, because you used to spend money on the game, you'd get the entire game. Now it's like, oh, if you want to finish the story, you have to fork out more money. But it's like, come on, we've already poured so much into this.
And sometimes the entire base game isn't even on the disc. Sometimes you have to download a portion of the base game, like with Call of Duty these days.
Right. And that's a problem. Like, if you want to finish the story, it should come with the base price. Like, it shouldn't be continued on a DLC to be 30, 40 extra dollars. And sometimes, you know how it goes, is you pre-order, you get the big package, $100+, and then the DLC is so bad. Or like they only drop one part of it and then call it a day after they take your money. It's pretty much a scam.
Not pretty much. It is a scam.
Yeah, but you're right. It is a scam. It really is a scam. Like, to make people charge this much, usually it's like, if it's a good game, you spend the base price, which again, I said 70 price point is too high, especially in the world now. Then it's like, you want to give 20 for a DLC, whatever. I mean, it's annoying, but people are going to buy it because they want to finish their favorite game. But then it's like the games, like I spent $100 on, it was Far Cry 6, and the DLC was like barely anything. Now, usually if it's like a really good game, then you want to add a DLC, that's fine. But like, to take the money knowing that your DLC is going to be trash, like, this is the part I'm talking about, it's a scam. you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, what's the most money you've ever dropped on a game?
Uh, I think like 65, but that's because I pre-ordered Madden like 11 from GameStop
There you
at the
go.
time.
Yeah.
That might
Okay.
have been the most.
See, that's
Because I do have a steelbook for the Division 2, but that was like $5 on clearance at Target, so that doesn't count for anything.
you know how much I bought? I spent over, I was $120 I spent on Division 2 for a steelbook. Yeah.
I I didn't care at the time. I'm like $5 for a steelbook for something that I don't care about. Nah, why not?
Yeah, I mean, I collect steelbook. As a steelbook collector, I needed it. And, it just didn't match. It wasn't worth it. But, like, I do love Division, so it is what it is. But, um,
So I've bought things that expensive, but not for the price. Like, for example, Nino Kuni 2, I believe it was.
uh-huh,
I got the $120 version for like $25 when that was on clearance at Target. So,
I see.
and
Okay.
that also came with a steel book as well as stickers, pins, and figurines. So,
That's awesome. No,
yeah.
that's nice. That's nice. Yeah, like I said, like if you buy like a limited edition stuff like that, fine. But the DLC for Division 2, I mean, didn't stack up to the price is my point. So that's basically a scam. We got people coming in here. Hello, MVP. How are we doing today? Hope
What's up,
everything's well.
MVP?
So yeah, so they're taking a big hit. We all know Sony, clearly you might be breaking records on consoles, but that's because of how hard they were to find and all that drama surrounding it.
And now it sounds like Xboxes are getting hard to get now. So,
Yeah, so it's all,
too.
I mean, that's like graphic. It's like everything right now. With technology, it fluctuates, is what it is. But the point is, you can sell so many consoles, but guess what? Consoles need games. And if the more you're going to up these price points, then no one's just going to get it. And eventually they have to learn to drop it back. I think we've become too complacent and we're like, okay, 70, it's whatever, $10 more. Well, the more that we keep saying it's only $10, it's only $10, they're going to keep spiking the price. So I kind of hope this is a wake up call because you got to hit them where it hurts. It's their pocket so that they drop the prices lower so that more people can game. I mean, that's what video games are for. It's for everybody,
Mm-hmm.
you know? I mean, hopefully something happens. You
Yeah.
got to hit them in their pockets. We are doing well, MVP. Thank you so much for asking. Thank you. We were just talking about some price points here. But the next story we're here to talk about is a possible Titanfall 3 game. Now, have you ever played Titanfall, Drew?
Yes, Titanfall. A fun story about Titanfall 2. You had Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare coming out on either side of Titanfall 2 at the time.
Right?
I didn't buy either one of those. I got Titanfall 2
Yeah.
instead. Because Battlefield is what it is, Call of Duty is what it is.
Yeah.
I was curious. I heard of Titanfall 1 that had online only, but this had a campaign. I'm like, I want that.
That's it. I agree. I think Titanfall 2 was one of my favorite shooters.
Yes.
I think the story was the story was riveting. Okay,
It
I don't
was a
want to.
lot more riveting than anything in Call of Duty or Battlefield before or since.
Absolutely. Especially Infinite Warfare was when Call of Duty really like took this steep decline on their trash storytelling. And then like Black Ops 3 was terrible too and all of that. But like
Yeah.
I'm saying like Titanfall 2, it was in the end, I don't want to give anything away for those that haven't played, but if you haven't played it, you have to. It's seriously, the gameplay is so much fun with sliding and jumping. I think they achieved what Call of Duty couldn't with the whole like jetpack flying thing.
Yeah. I played all the way through it on PS4 at the time, and I have it for Xbox today, and I'm trying to get through the Xbox version, so I'm playing it again.
There you go. It's, I mean, what's one
So,
more? Like,
yeah.
I know that it used to be
Yeah.
free. I'm sure you can actually, if it is, if you have like PlayStation, the subscription. But Titanfall 3. So basically, Respawn is looking, they said that they want to make it. They haven't announced it. They had no plans for it, but they don't want to split up the Apex Legends fan base. And as somebody who enjoys a campaign game, who thinks this is one of my favorite shooters, I'm going to tell Apex people to stand down on this. I want to tell them to stand down. We want a Titanfall 3. The storytelling. I mean, a few weeks ago, we talked about how Sony's best-selling games all come from storytelling, and it's a huge market for it other than online gaming. So they shouldn't fall asleep on this because I promised them the revenue that they would be generating won't even amount to what Apex has given them. Would you agree?
Completely.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm also trying to remember if Titanfall is published by EA or not. I believe it is, isn't it?
I think it is now. I know it's Respawn, but I don't know if they like have a
Because
partnership with EA. Oh yeah, you
because
know what? They
I
do. It is. I see it here.
then that means Titanfall 2 is currently on Game Pass then.
Yeah, see there you
Because
go. Get it now. I mean, you have to. It's like seriously, I'm not kidding when I say the story, the way they set it up, it's a culmination of the most fun gameplay, shooting the like the not bots, what do you call them? Like transformers, like I don't know how you want to call the enemy, like robotic. All right, we're going to call them robotics. It's so much fun. It and the storytelling is acted so well. You get attached. I mean, it's got everything. It's got everything for everyone. And there's just, I've never heard anyone say anything bad about Titanfall. So,
agreed.
right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, Avro, thank you for coming in. What's the topic? Summer releases, but right now we're talking about Titanfall, possible Titanfall 3. So, the Response CEO, he was asked if we would see a Titanfall 3, and he said, um, he would love to see it happen, but there is no confirmation that it is. It has to be the right thing. It's such a beloved franchise for the fans and also for us. If it is not the right moment in time, the right idea, then it just doesn't make sense. This is coming from Zampella himself, Vince Zampella, CEO. So that's exciting to me. That's exciting. I mean, I get it. You don't want to just put it out because people are asking for it. You really want to take your time and create a story and make it as good as the second one. Right? I mean, who wants an unfinished, lack of story gameplay like that you feel like it's rushed?
Exactly. But considering what was actually said in that statement, there are two thoughts in my brain. One on one side, one on the other. The one side is obviously you're gonna hate me for it. I don't think we're ever gonna get a Titanfall 3.
Okay. Okay. I
The,
see.
the other side of my brain going, I hope we do.
Yeah. I mean,
But the
right?
other side's going, yeah, it ain't gonna happen.
You think it's not? I hope so. Avro,
uh,
he says, yeah, Titanfall 2 was so good. It literally was top tier.
yeah,
And Vincent, welcome in. He says that Respawn owns 100% right to Titanfall. Oh, they just use EA as a publisher. EA tried to
yeah.
buy it from them at one point. They said no, they would never sell it. Let's go. That's how you get it done.
Maybe Titanfall 2's in Game Pass because I know that EA's Vault of Games is.
Okay. Well, I mean,
So,
yeah, people can check for that, you know?
Welcome to the Big
What's
Busy
well,
Committee.
someone's gonna
Brandon?
have to check
Thank
for me
you.
because I can't do that without a TV.
We got Brandon with the 5 bits. Thank you so, so much. Welcome in. Thank you. Yeah,
Thank you, Brandon.
we got let's go, Brandon.
Yeah.
Basically. So yeah, I really think it could happen. I just think that it has to be the right timing. Like I don't want to rush story. We've seen this time and time again with games that they claim, "Oh, we're going to push a game out because we feel that everyone wants it." Then the game gets put out and it's the most trash storyline and it ruins the franchise. So I honestly think the fact that he's even mentioning it gives me hope. And I'll tell you why I disagree with you, Drew, when you say it may not happen, is
Yeah.
because Ubisoft hasn't even talked about Splinter Cell for God knows how long. So that's like dead and done, which makes me so sad because it's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But the fact that this guy's even bringing it to light, it's like, it's not dead, but we're not confirming either. And I think if a swarm of people kind of say, keep making it, they should put a hold on Apex for a bit and say, hey, you know what? Many of the people want Titanfall 3. Let's start thinking about how we're going to go about it.
Okay, you convinced me. The other half of my brain's
See?
going,
There it is.
okay,
There
okay,
it is.
2030 then.
Right? Vincent says he doesn't want another Cyberpunk release, especially for my favorite Titanfall. We want Titanfall. The second one, it was like,
Yeah.
who thought the relationship between you and like a robot would be meaningful? But I promise you, it's like he is your best friend. He's your ride or die. Okay? And it's crazy to
Well,
think, but it's true.
well, look at Padme Amidala and C-3PO.
I don't is that Star Wars?
Star Wars
Oh
reference.
god. Oh boy. I know it's May 4th. I know it's May 4th. Listen, well, you guys don't mean
I
Star Wars.
I just had to slip it underground, if you
You just
will.
had to slip it. I mean, it is May the 4th. Whatever. I'll
Yes.
let you have it. I'll let you
But
have it.
the real Star Wars Day is the 25th, the anniversary when the first movie actually came out. Thank you very much.
See, we don't want another Star Wars. We want Titanfall. I speak on literally. Okay, you guys have enough. I feel like y'all have enough Star Wars. Give us Titanfall already. Um,
How about a Star Wars Titanfall crossover?
no, let's not ruin it, Drew. Let's not get ruined. And we have Chicken Ruler, who is like probably the biggest Star Wars fan I have ever met in my entire life. We don't want we want Titanfall. We don't need a crossover. We don't need spin-offs. All right?
thank,
We
Thank you,
want
Chicken. I appreciate
Titanfall.
you.
No, no, no. Let's not do all that. No, no, no. We're gonna Titanfall, guys. Titanfall. But yeah, so I mean, it is a possibility. We would love to see it happen. Um, I
Yeah.
mean, we'll keep you all updated on it. I mean, the good thing is, like, I feel like if we start flooding their social media, it's like demanding, basically. Like Apex, how many? I mean, Apex, I know a lot of people play it, yes, but we're tired of multiplayer. Let's just put it on hold. And gaming, I think, is the worst that it's ever been. It's because of the focus on multiplayer and not campaign
And my
or anything
and
else.
microtransactions.
And microtrans, exactly. It's become too, it just sucks. And everyone that complains, like streamers, they say there's no good games. Well, then stop playing multiplayer games. Like, stop focusing on what the people don't want. Yes, a majority probably want it, but I promise you, listen, God of War and things like Horizon and like these things don't sell because of like their graphics or anything. They sell because they tell us a good story. That is why. Vincent says Apex would be amazing if they added wall running and being able to call in your mechs. I would assume that's mechanic, but they had to remove it because it was too much. Or we could just get Titanfall. Listen, guys, listen to this. Titanfall, and then you can merge Titanfall with Apex. Okay? For a multiplayer, for people that want to play multiplayer, they can, and they can take from Titanfall and like change it up. I don't know, because I don't play Apex. I don't know if that would piss anyone off or not. But the campaign needs to be Titanfall. And we'll keep you updated in the future. Anything else you got to say about that?
I've played Apex, and I think both you and Vince are both right.
Yeah.
So at the same time.
I mean, the good thing is they're listening. I mean, I'll give it to them. Like a lot of developers don't listen, so they're listening. Ears are open. We enjoy that. So that wraps up with Titanfall. The next segment we have here is a new Steam client beta update. Lets you watch movies while gaming. For those that play PC, basically know like once you're in a game, you're kind of in a game. But Valve has revealed the latest batch of improvements and new features coming in the next Steam client beta update, the biggest being a complete overhaul of Steam's in-game overlay. This feature was primarily used to chat with friends or check on things related to the game you were playing. So like basically your trophies, your progress, all of that is what it was prior. And now you could chat with your friends, go on the internet, open different apps. You can even watch a movie or something while you're grinding your game. How exciting is that? It's huge.
Sounds like something I already do with watching YouTube videos and playing games at the same time.
Yeah, but see, now it makes it easier. Like before, you would have to exit your game. This is just an overlay now.
Well, I have actually four TVs, so.
See, okay, well, there you go. No need to flex. All right, all right. But yeah, see, you get it
Yeah.
though. It's like,
Hey, I'm not trying to flex. I'm just trying to get the point across that I play games and watch Hello Beautiful videos at the same time.
well,
Haha.
thank you, Drew. We'll talk more about that in a second, but thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Like, yeah, I love multitasking too. I like having my music. And, you know, with console, at least, you could at least listen to Pandora or Spotify, depending on what console you have. But this is kind of huge because I like to listen to streams or like YouTube or something while I am playing, especially if I'm just grinding and don't need to pay attention. And the fact is, before you could only like focus on the game and not do anything else. So this is kind of a big win. So I'm excited to see there. I don't know when this update is going to be released, but right now it's in beta and it's going to be exciting. I think it's going to be a big improvement, especially for those that are on PC. Yeah. And by the way, for
I
those
agree.
you agree? See, we're
Yep.
on it today. We're on it today. For those that don't know, Drew and I both film reaction videos on YouTube, and we both did a Tom McDonald video recently. So
Yeah.
I wanted to ask
Uh,
you, how did you think of
Dirty
it?
Money. That's my most favorite political one that he's ever done because he said a lot of things that you will never say on YouTube. I'm not afraid to say on YouTube, but it was just my computer was packed. All I could do was film it on my phone, so I didn't have a lot of time because it was literally on moving day. I'm like,
Right.
fuck, he dropped a video. God damn it, Tom.
Nah, it was awesome. It was like
So,
one of the I mean, Tom always hits it on the nail. Um,
uh, I would say he hit it right on the money,
oh yeah, 'cause it's called Dirty
but
Money. Look at that. Oh.
but your sister did say that in your reaction,
She did.
so
She did. She got ahead of it. She got
yeah,
ahead.
and I did also show my mom your stuff, so she's a fan too.
Oh, that's so kind. What the hell, Drew?
Yep.
I always watch your video. Honestly, I don't watch too many reactions because there's only so much of the same song I can hear over and over again. But your channel is definitely
Well,
one that I do.
if it's Tom, I don't care if I'm watching 50 different reactors. It's Tom,
I can't.
or it's Samson, or it's Webby, or
Right.
it's
Webby's one of my favorites for sure.
Struggle Jennings, especially.
Right. Yeah, these are all solid. I just wanted to tap in with that since we both did the reaction. Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. If y'all can't, you guys can find it. We'll talk more about where you can find that later. But yeah, so it's good to check in on that. And the next news we have here, Grand Theft Auto news, guys. We got a GTA update. Okay, so Grand Theft Auto 6, we talked about this a while back. The map, we said that it was going to be twice as big as Los Santos, and that has been confirmed. But now it's kind of like obviously focusing more on the campaign, which is great.
Hmm.
But I'm kind of worried that if a map is this big, like what's gonna happen? Like I feel like if it's too big, are we like by the time you get done exploring, like I just don't want it to become an Assassin's Creed Valhalla situation. You know what I mean? Where you're pouring in hours and hours and it's just too big, you feel like you can't get anything done.
My concern on that, if the map is that big, that doesn't bother me. If it's level capped to each area, that's a problem. Like like Valhalla, that might be a problem for me.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. That is a good
That means
point.
if you need a like 200 power to go over here and do this, and you're only at like 100,
Mm-hmm.
or like, well, I guess I'm not getting those supplies to finish my settlement like in Valhalla.
Right.
That's a problem. But if it's a massive map that size and that restriction isn't there, then my only concern is okay, do we have three protagonists like in five, which I hated?
Right.
Or do we just have the one protagonist? I don't care if it's male or female, but is there one protagonist? Yes. Let's go.
Yeah, I know that there is two protagonists. It's male and female.
Then I'm out.
You're out. I think
Yeah.
it said. I mean, I'm gonna get. I mean, I've been playing GTA like back. I mean, since 19, like the first. I remember playing the first when I was like way too young to be playing GTA. But my point is, I just will play. I don't know how it's gonna play out. I kind of, there has been some really shitty Grand Theft Autos, and there has been some really good ones. I don't think 5 was my favorite. A lot of people, I think it's the generation that they never played the older ones that they think it's like so fantastic. But um
I
no,
know that my
it's enough.
friend Joshi loves, I think it's Liberty City.
Yeah, the Liberty City
Yeah.
Stories.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's my favorite. That's literally
Yeah.
my favorite on
That's his favorite.
PSP. The
The
real
favorite
ones.
one that I've watched played was my brother playing four.
Okay, so like Vice City, I think
No,
that was the fourth one.
no, it just said Grand Theft Auto 4 on the case.
Oh, like
So,
the 4. Yeah, that was terrible for me. I know a lot of people loved it, but I actually hated 4. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Sorry, I thought
Though,
you meant
though,
like the fourth one that was released, so I was going in order. Um,
mm, I was going with what I remember seeing, and it was Grand Theft
yeah,
Auto
there
4.
is a fourth. Yeah, there is.
It wasn't Vice City. It wasn't San Andreas,
No, no, it was New York
even
area.
though
Yeah.
apparently San Andreas is really popular too.
It
So
is. It wasn't my favorite, but I didn't hate on it. Vincent says my concern is if the map is that huge, how many people are gonna try to gonna crash trying to load it in. That's exactly it. It's becoming, we don't want, I think people need to touch grass and stop making this like huge map to explore. I want,
that That I do agree with you.
right? Like we want a condensed map. Let's focus on the story. I don't care I'm not going to sit here and travel through this universe that I'm not actually in. If I'm going to explore, I'm going to go outside. Okay? I'm not here to explore. I'm
Hmm.
here to play a story. Give me the characters. Give me the intensity, the drama. That's what we want. So I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, let me just cruise downtown in this big ass city once the story's done. That's just not what I do. Once I get in, I get out. I don't know how y'all play Grand Theft Auto, but that's how I play it. I don't like online. I think online has completely ruined GTA. And like I try to do as many little side missions as I can. But I think the exploration, like Liberty City Stories is also my favorite, and I memorized that map entirely. It was just small, and each like you went to 3 islands, and the last one being the biggest. But I memorized it as better than I memorized the town I live in. Okay, direction wise. I mean, I just think they're too big. So, what do you think that they should condense it?
Yeah, I do agree with you, but I also find exploring the basement kind of fun because it leads to that underground.
There,
Haha.
okay, there you go. He's on it today. He's on it today. I just
It's been a long time since I've been on Twitch or YouTube because of the moving process.
yeah, he's in
This
a
is the first time anyone is hearing me anywhere on the internet right now.
well.
So,
Drew from Dad Underground is alive, guys. You heard it here first. He is alive.
al- alive,
Proof of life.
and I want to go touch a palm tree because there's one right outside the door right
There
now.
you go. Living life, Lars.
Because I've never touched a palm tree before.
In California, we get them everywhere, so that's not too
I've been in
uncommon. But
Florida before, but I didn't have the opportunity. Well, now I live in this state, so
there you go.
I'm going to
Um,
try to touch a palm tree on my way
yeah.
to
See,
my
he's touching
thing
grass. I just
tomorrow.
think with GTA, we got to start touching grass and stop making these maps so damn big with the downloads being a
Well,
ridiculous size.
I
And
I want palm trees in GTA now.
okay, well, I think they did. They did. If you played five, see, you never played it. It was in LA, so you would have seen it.
Well, well, I did play it, but barely because
I mean, it
I
was
just
10
got
years
sick
ago.
of the three protect. Well, actually, I have it for Xbox One, so it wasn't that long ago for me.
Right.
Right on PS3, and at the time, I'm like, why do we need a PS4 next year?
Yeah, and then they switched. It
At
was
the
much better
time,
on PS4. I played both, but I played it on
but
both.
it
But it was
but it
10
was
years ago.
yeah, but it was graphically so stunning on PS3 that that was my point of view. There's still juice in the PS3 at the time
I mean,
in
I played
2012.
my yeah, I totally played the shit out of my PS3 for sure, but I think for GTA specifically like, you know, it looked better, but I'm not here for graphics. I've said this once, I've said it again. I'm here for a story. Some of the best games don't look pretty, but they're one of the best. So,
For me, story and gameplay. If it looks great,
right.
then hey, whatever.
Yeah. So I want to go. So we mentioned Liberty City Stories is my favorite. I do think the original GTA to me is like such a classic. And for those that don't know, is actually like a bird's eye view that you could play. And if you didn't want to do the story, you didn't have to. You could have just stole, like, you could have progressed in the game basically by not doing the missions, just kind of causing chaos. And that's kind of how it started and all. I just love the simplicity of it. I think it's such a classic, and the one. So if that's for me, that's a great one. But obviously, Liberty Stories, my all-time favorite. Um,
Was the first one just on PC at the time?
yes, I
That's
believe
what I
so.
thought.
Yeah. Actually, Game Boy. It was on Game Boy too. On Game Boy Advance. That's how. Yeah, it was on Game Boy too. I remember that.
I don't
Um,
know how the hell that happened.
well, it was so popular. It had over 3 million units
Well,
sold
I'm sh-
actually.
I'm
So
just
I
talking.
wanna, I wanna kind
I'm
of
just
get
talking about
through.
the capabilities of the device,
Mm,
though.
it does. Well, it was very simple though. It was just a bird's eye view. I mean, like I said, go look.
That's fair.
It's you gotta look. It really was great. I mean, it set the tone for the whole series. So you got Liberty City Stories. I did love GTA 3. The story was taken. Um, so GTA 3 happened, and then Liberty City Stories came after GTA 3, but it was a prequel to GTA 3. So sad to see how that story turned out, but there it is. I think Vice City Stories was also one of my tops. I thought that was so much better than Vice City. So many people love Vice City. I didn't like it. So many people love San Andreas. I didn't care for it. But yeah, I think also for not my favorite, five. was better, but Liberty City Stories and the OG, that's really what you need. That's really what you need. And Drew, for someone that hasn't played it, I would say you can get Liberty City Stories, I believe, on PS4.
And you can also get it for Xbox as well. So
Yeah, so I would definitely recommend. It's got that classic. I mean, it came out so long ago, but I'm telling you, that's a great one to start. You don't feel overwhelmed. It's great. So yeah, that kind of wraps up the GTA news, and now we're gonna move on to our summer releases. A lot of things coming out this summer. Sunset, how are we doing here in chat? Thank you for coming in. So what's coming out in May? We got May 16th, a game called Humanity. It'll be on PS4, PS5, PSVR 2, and PC. And it basically is kind of like that Stray, like the Stray Cat, but now they are using animals because they saw how popular that game was. It's a blend of puzzle solving and action platforming. You play as a lone Shiba Inu charged with commanding massive crowds to the goal in story mode. So basically, they tell you what their goal is, and this dog leads them to it. Does that sound like something that would interest you?
I'd have to see a trailer to answer that.
It is on Steam. I don't think this is great, but then again, I thought Stray was stupid, and yet everybody loved it and it was up for awards, which was kind of crazy. So then again,
I would normally say when someone would read something like that to me, I would normally say no, but for some reason your voice makes me go, I don't know.
I just thought Stray was so. I mean, it's about a stray cat. Like, I mean,
I
like I
did
said,
I did play well, I don't know if I played some Astray or if I just watched it. I don't remember anymore.
I mean, it's up for award. I mean, it's about a stray cat. I think now we're taking these
Yeah.
animal things. Like, I don't want to see it. That's just me. Again, these are just opinions. We are not facts. These are just what we think. But that will come out May 16th for anyone that's interested. A game that I'm for sure not interested in, I put it in the Star Wars category. Lord of the Rings Gollum. That'll be available May 25th on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox X and SX or whatever it is. Whatever XS series, my goodness. Anyway, it'll be on Xbox, okay? Um that'll be
I'll say if it's in Game Pass, I'll probably stream it and judge it off of that.
do you
If it's
like
not
Lord of
Game
the
Pass,
Rings?
I love the Lord of the Rings series. I don't like the recent Lord of the Rings attempts at fan fiction,
Okay.
but
Right.
but the original Return of the King, so on and so forth. Yes, because Return of the King is my favorite. But
I
in
just
terms of
don't get it.
Golem, I'm not going to shell money out for it, but if it's in Game Pass, I'll give it a whirl, and just like I did with Minecraft Legends, which was the last game I played.
Okay. So there you go. Um Then we have, okay, see, I'm not a huge fan, but I know that everyone is excited for it. I know people are waiting for the drop. I think it's going to kind of mimic the whole Harry Potter hype just because so many people are fans of these franchises. So we shall see what's going to happen. Hopefully it's not bugged out for people that are going to play and stuff like that.
Like
Um,
Redfall.
oh my God. Yeah, like Redfall. Vincent, we said the same thing at the same time. I didn't see it till right now. Look at this. We had the same idea, same thinking. It's gonna come out the Harry Potter game that came out and died. Yeah, Harry Potter did go up and
And I
down.
still haven't had a chance to play it because I'm moving to Arizona. So
I am not a Harry Potter person either, so I know
this will not surprise you or anyone in the chat, but I kind of am.
doesn't surprise us. No, I mean everyone's got their thing.
Any anything nerdy? Yes, I'm in. Anything sports related? It depends on how many microtransactions are in it.
It's just like I've been to Harry. It's just Harry Potter is one I really don't get, and Lord of the Rings is like another one I don't. It's like the Star Wars. I don't like that fantasy sci-fi type stuff, but I do think it's
You
gonna
heard
have pretty big hype, and I do think it's gonna die down quickly. I think Elden Ring has been the only game consistently to have this huge hype and then keep up with this hype, like a tidal wave of it. I give it to them. They did well on that.
heard it here first, folks. Brew loves getting her soul crushed, and she doesn't believe in magic.
I don't believe. I just don't. I don't believe magic. Magic is an illusion. Okay.
That's why
Um.
it's called magic.
Yeah. There we go. The next game we have is called After Us, and this is kind of a big anticipated indie release. We talked about indie games last week, so it'll be on PS5, Windows, PC, and Xbox X only. And It's kind of like it's a 3D platformer, and it follows this fairy like character named Gaia, who's tasked with restoring life to a dark, surreal world when nature has been replaced by human wreckage. It's supposed to be creepy, but give you this hopeful message, telling a story of hope. Um, as Gaia looks to bring grass and animals back to a twisted steel landscape. So this is kind of a big anticipated indie game that's kind of come out, and people who played on it just to get their first impressions gave it raving reviews. So I mean, for those that like indie games, I think that this could be something. I mean, everyone's hyping it up, so time will tell, but that will be out May 23rd. Does that sound like something you'd play, Drew?
Possibly, because it almost sounds like a good commentary for the state of our country right now.
I mean,
Never mind.
nah, we don't, because the thing is, we play video games to escape real life.
I know that. I'm sorry, but that's just where my brain went
Yeah,
when
I
you
mean, that's
said
something that
after
video
us.
games does. I mean, it evokes different emotions, so that is one take on it.
You're different people, yes. You think one way, you zig, I zag.
I mean, that's it. It's just like about, like, for me, I don't like real world, and I like realistic shooters, but I don't want the
I know
story.
that. I apologize, but
No,
when
you're
I
good.
hear after me, that's just where my brain goes. Oh no, I'm being followed.
All right. Let us know, guys. So far, we got Lord of the Rings, Humanity After Us. Those are the big ones coming out in May. Once we get through the whole list, I'll reiterate it, and y'all tell me in chat what you think sounds most interesting. So in June, we got a big one coming out, Street Fighter 6. And because Street Fighter 6 got delayed and announced so many years ago, it will be on PS4, PS5, PC, Xbox Series X, and so on. Do you play?
Where's that coming out?
And that's June 2nd. So right at the beginning of June.
Okay.
I am not a Street Fighter
I
person, but are
I've
you?
never played a Street Fighter. I've dabbled in Mortal Kombat
Okay.
years ago.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat's great.
I
Yeah.
prefer Super Smash Brothers though.
Okay. I do love me some Mortal Kombat. I'm not gonna lie. But Street Fighter, for those, I know people like love it, follow it. I mean, it's still good. It's just not something I would play. That's huge. I mean, June is about to be a huge month for game guys, because after that, June 6th, literally 4 days later, Diablo 4 coming out on PS4, PS5, PC, Xbox One, Xbox Series X. I am not a Diablo person either. That may not shock anybody, but I do understand how important this series is and how much people do love it. Do you play Diablo?
I I tried Diablo Reaper of Souls,
Uh,
and fun fact, the next one comes out 2 days before my birthday.
well, there you go. So that'd be a good present.
If it's in Game Pass, I'll give it a try. If it's $70, go
Yeah,
poop
see, it
yourself.
kind of goes back to what we talked about. Price point is just too high, right? It's
Yeah,
just too high.
exactly.
So for Diablo 4, for those that do play and kind of like what we know about it, um, we're going to talk about the classes. And I would assume this is much like Elden Ring. You can take your approach on how you want to play this game. So, you can play a druid, which is one of the first classes announced for Diablo 4. They are able to harness earth and storm magic. They can also seamlessly shift into a werebear, and werewolf forms. Again, as someone who has not played Diablo, no idea what this would look like, but it sounds kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie, turning into a werewolf. You can transform, and there are temporary states granted by relevant skills. So if you continue using your werebear, you'll stay as a werebear for longer. But if you're a werewolf, you'll continue to stay in that form for longer. And you can also summon companions like ravens. So that's fun. You also have the barbarian, and they are just like the brute force piles of weaponry. They have an arsenal, and you can have individual skills to use for your specific weapons. So if you want to take that approach, that sounds like an approach I would take for this game. Is just like hands-on fighting face to face. You can also play a sorceress, and this sounds like Drew, since you love magic. It's a spellcaster. Um,
Yes, it
you
is.
can hurl lightning, ice, and fire at enemies from afar with matching elemental specialization options. And that sounds kind of cool. And it says, unlike Diablo 3, it'll be focused more on elemental magic. So that sounds like a fun thing. I'm not gonna lie. Um,
But will I need a cell phone? Haha.
well, you need well, it sounds like in these games, all you need is like a workbench, and clearly you can have the whole world at your hands.
I was just making fun of the developer for the announcement of Diablo Immortal years ago.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, they announced it. It was a mobile Diablo game.
Okay.
They were not announcing this game at the time. And people got on the mic because they were taking questions from the audience, and someone was like, "Is this a is this an out of season April Fool joke?" And then the guy on stage went, "What do you not have cell phones?"
Oh boy. Oh boy.
So
Can only
that's why I
imagine.
made the cell phone joke
There you
because I
go.
remember
He
from E3.
remembers.
Yeah,
Ah.
yeah. I remember that from something that doesn't exist anymore, E3.
Yeah, so sad. I know we talked about that, but next year
But
we've
Summer
got
Games Fest is still coming, so that's the new E3.
True. It broke our hearts when we heard it was mobile chicken. Yeah, I mean, that sucks because
Yeah.
like you would want to play like an actual game. I'm not a big believer in mobile games, so that would really be a downfall for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the only mobile game I have is Solitaire, so.
It's always a good one. Next here on the classes we have Rogue. And this one hasn't been appeared by that name since the original. So if you guys have played the original, this one's for you. Um, Basically, it'll be ranged combat expert. Um, it's bow wielding, and so that sounds like fun. Little ranged weaponry going on. Um, you can also recognize things like Shades of the Assassin from Diablo 2, Lord of Destruction, and Demon Hunter from Diablo 3. So if you want to go with traps and shadow magic, these are the options. But for weapons, you'll have swords, daggers, bows, and crossbows. That sounds like a good approach as well. And lastly, we have Necromancer. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. This
Yep.
will be the fifth and final class. It will be an expected retinue of skeletons of every variety and plenty of bone and blood magic. That sounds gross. You can utilize corpses as a resource? What is this game? Huh?
It's a very magical experience.
Yeah, this sounds interesting. Yeah. Yeah, this doesn't sound like it's anything for me, but listen, I understand the popularity. Um, I don't think I'm going to be interested in watching that Chicken Room. I'm not going to even lie to you. For me, I think Final Fantasy, which we're going to talk about in a second, would be something better than Diablo. It's kind of like, I play Doom. I don't really like Doom, but I play it. I played it. I don't really care for it. I feel like this is definitely in that category. But also Diablo 4 has actual character customizations. So this is something
Which
I'd
is
be more
very
interested
important.
in. Very important. You can customize your a customization system will allow players to outfit their characters with hundreds of unique armor pieces and detailed facial and body characteristics. So that's pretty cool. I love that. I love a character customization. Um yeah, and you won't like Diablo? Yeah, Diablo definitely is not for me. But listen, character customization is pretty cool. I think that's so important in a game. You want to make the character how you see it. And I think that's so important for every game to have. So moving on with Diablo 4, we've got Final Fantasy shortly after, June 22nd. It'll be Final Fantasy 16 PlayStation 5 exclusive. Um, I do not
This
play
has
Final
been a
Fantasy.
highly anticipated game for a long time.
Has it?
Hopefully, I can have a PS5 at some point. Because this is one of those ones that I do absolutely want to play. I just don't know if it's $700 worth getting. if
I
you,
mean, yeah, I think
because
you'd
I'm,
have to be a big
because I'm,
fan.
because I'm gonna have to buy the game and the console for it.
Right. I mean, we do need PlayStation 5 exclusives though. Honestly, like
Yeah, that's true.
there's like consoles have just been sitting there and collecting dust. Like we do need some exclusives and that's exciting to see it. I think they should start selling like, panels. You can change your panels on the PlayStation 5.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe how with PlayStation 4 they had special consoles like you could buy like Kingdom
Mm-hmm.
of Hearts kind of console also.
It's just called Kingdom Hearts, but
Or
it's
sorry,
that.
can't see. I don't play that either. See, I don't play that
I
either.
do.
They did have a God of War though, special one that you could have bought. So my point is, since you can't really do that with PlayStation 5, since we don't have like a PS5 Slim or anything like that, I think they should start selling panels that are Final Fantasy themed, and you could charge a pretty penny for that. I think people will go for it.
And you can turn your PS5 into a space shuttle.
There you go. I think that would be cool. I think they haven't included that because they're not making, I mean, they're just making the PS5s and just trying to get them in the hands of everybody. I think we're
Well, in
not,
Arizona, I would need panels to absorb heat, like a
yeah.
space shuttle tile.
Yeah, I mean, no, really though. Like, I mean, the PS5 is loud. It shouldn't run hot though. It doesn't, at least for mine. And if yours does, then you probably should get that checked out. But I think it would be cool
Well,
to see
it's. I
custom
don't think it
panels.
would run hot. It would just be hot where I live.
Yeah, but that shouldn't matter if it's inside with air ventilation. You should be good. But
That's well,
I do
well, and
think these
obviously air
panels.
conditioning, but
I do think these panels will be great, and I think they should sell custom panels, and I think it'd be great. I mean, we were just talking about $70 being too high. Well, it's like you could sell these panels for like 30, $40 and have more people buy it rather than $100 and only a certain amount of people buy it.
well, that's not the trend of the gaming industry. So
Yeah, I know. That's never the mind. They don't know how to market. And the last game coming out is Goodbye Volcano High, and that'll be on PS4, PS5, and PC. And I'm not gonna lie, this game does not look like something I'm interested in. But it is on Steam. You can find the description there. I can read this off before we move on. Before that though, we have also July and early summer releases, which is basically Immortals of Avium. I've never heard or seen this game. It'll be on PS5, PC, and Xbox Series X. That'll be out July 20th. And then, of course, you have the
don't look
sports
at me. I
game.
have no idea.
I have no idea. I know. I will read Goodbye Volcano High, though, because this is a highly anticipated one. And then, of course, at the end of summer, end of quarter, you got the sports. As we talked about last week, it is no longer FIFA. It'll now be FC for FIFA. So formerly known as FIFA, now known as FC, Sports FC to be specific. That'll be out. No known date for that. You get your NBA 2K24, there's a F1 23, Madden NFL 24. You're going to get the NHL game probably around October as all these sporting games come out, but that'll be end of summer. You get the sports coming out. So that's kind of the lineup. Yeah. You play sports games though, right? You play baseball.
Yeah. I play the show, but the only sports game I'm interested in is supposed to be coming out as a free-to-play game, and that's Maximum Football 2023.
So is that going to compete with Madden?
Hopefully,
Hopefully. Okay.
because it's got a whole new studio. It's basically a generic supposed college football game.
Okay. I know Roblox has now tried to include NHL, like a hockey type game, in Roblox. So, but NHL owns that, so it won't change anything. But it's trying to get more people in it. So, yeah, and we have Goodbye Volcano High to get back to that. It's basically a cinematic narrative game about the end of an era and the beginning of a love story. Not interested to me. I hate love stories in games. I don't know about you, but
I only like love stories when I have a reason to care about love stories, as in when I'm dating someone.
there you go. That's it.
So as it stands, I don't care right now.
Yeah, I don't care. I hate love in games. And I did find that Horizon, the DLC, don't want to spoil it, but they kind of push this love interest, right? I hate any love story in a game. I think it takes away from the story. It just feels so forced and like it shouldn't even be there. Like it shouldn't even be there. Avro, if it's about hockey, I have not watched my Seattle Kraken game. It's been taping for 20 minutes, so it better not be hockey related. What you're about to say, I'm about to go watch. Yeah. So those are the summer releases to be focused on. So we had Lord of the Rings, Gollum, Humanity, After Us, Street Fighter 6, Diablo 4, Final Fantasy 16, Goodbye Volcano High, Immortals of Avium, and we got sporting games coming out end of summer. The yearly annual releases. What do you think out of that list interested you the most?
Um, as weird as it sounds for me, because I'm not the biggest Diablo fan, probably Diablo.
Okay, Diablo. Yeah, I think Diablo and Final Fantasy are going to be neck and neck. I would love to see the competition between the two as
And I will tell you, if I had a PS5, it would far and away be Final Fantasy 16. But
like to
I
me.
don't think it's worth spending like
No, if you don't play Final Fantasy, right, then you don't need to.
Well, I do play Final Fantasy, but I'm not sure if I want to spend that much money just to be able to play it to buy a whole new
Mm.
system.
Black Friday. It's when you guys got to do shopping. I know they have a spring Black Friday. I don't know if that's still in effect, but Black Friday, if you guys can wait, that's the rule for anything because everything does drop down in price, which is so funny because Call of Duty literally every year dropped, or like when they were releasing it, it's always a week before Black Friday. And then that game that people pre ordered and spent all that money on drops by almost half come the
Welcome to the
next.
Big Bitty Committee.
Thank you so much for the bits, MVP. I appreciate it. See,
MVP living up to his name.
living up to his name, literal MVP, literal. And so yeah, these are our summer releases. I do want to see, and I think we'll talk about this come June, probably in start of July, but to see Final Fantasy versus Diablo 4, the reviews, the turnout, I think it's going to be so much great to follow. And this competition, I love a good competition. Love to see how it's going to turn out. I think for me, the biggest one, I'm really not interested in any of these. So I think, I don't know. I guess if I had to choose, maybe that After Us indie game, because I think that kind of sounded pretty cool of a story. So maybe I check that one out. If chat, you guys have any ideas or anything you want to add to that, please let us know what game out of this list sounds most interesting to you. Avro coming in with hockey news. All right. Minnesota Wild have been in the playoffs 7 out of the 8 years and have been all first round exits. Yeah. That's
Well, that's every Minnesota team. It's not just the Wild.
it's
And I should know, I was there for 20 plus years of my life.
yeah, I think Minnesota has always been like that team in the playoffs, but also never was a true contender. Not
Yeah,
gonna lie.
every Minnesota team has always been the bride left at the altar.
They are the Leafs of the US. Dude, Maple Leafs are something else. Yes, I think we can concur. We can definitely agree with that. I can't
Yeah.
wait. We did talk about hockey like 2 weeks ago, I think. Um, but yeah, Avro, you should join in when we do talk sports because we did talk about this. And we will talk more because trust, right now hockey is at its prime. It's so good. If y'all ain't watching, I don't know what y'all doing. So yeah, that was it. Gaming news. We got everything in, and now we're gonna move on, shifting over to movies. Now, y'all should know by now that horror movies are kind of my thing. And we got news that The Exorcist is now rebooted and is going to be a trilogy. Drew, do you watch scary movies?
I used to. The last one I watched was The Grudge, and it wasn't scary. And I'm like,
Oh my
why am I
God, that was
wasting
the
my
last
time?
one you watched?
Yeah,
Ooh-wee. It's been a minute. It's been a minute for
yeah.
this guy. Mario movie was something ever. No, it's about scary movies, guys. I know. I love them. I live for them.
I'm,
I only
I'm there
watch
for a
them.
while. I want to see the Mario movie so bad, but I've been busy moving, so I haven't been able to do
Guys,
anything.
Mario movie doesn't compare. It's The Exorcist. This is a cult classic. Hello? I mean, by the way, the vomit in The Exorcist, the OG Exorcist, was actually pea soup. Fun fact. Fun
And I
fact.
bet then I bet you were too young to play Nintendo back in the day.
I did have a Super Nintendo.
I'm talking about regular Nintendo here.
Oh,
The
yeah.
big,
I,
the
I do
beginning of
have
Mario.
I do have that the very first console as well, but it is in a box. I do keep it in its OG box too. I never got rid of the packaging.
Yeah, Mario's a big deal.
Bowser was scary. No. We're talking about The Exorcist. For those that haven't seen it, like I don't know where you've been living, but horror movies are actually good for you. By the way, it makes your heart rate, for those that don't know, you lose calories actually because your heart rate goes so high. It's basically exercise while sitting. So you're welcome. You're welcome. So we got Jason Blum taking this on. Love Jason Blum. Love James Wan. But this one will just be by Jason Blumhouse himself. And I think it's Warner Brothers or Paramount. It might be Paramount. I think it's Paramount. They have wrapped filming for it. So remember, it's going to be a trilogy. October 13th. So I'm assuming that would be a Friday because they love to do that. Released. And so we have the original film, which is an adaptation of the novel by William Peter Blatty, inspired by the real exorcism that occurred in Washington in 1949. Followed Reagan, a 12-year-old girl, is the victim of a paranormal phenomena Her mother, terrified after subjecting her daughter to multiple medical tests that did not offer any results, turns to a priest with the psychiatric studies. He is convinced that the girl is the victim of a diabolical possession. For this reason, with the help of another priest, he decides to practice an exorcism. So this time, so we had the mom and the daughter. We are continuing her story. Okay, it's going to be a continuation, much like Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween with the 100,000 Halloweens they had. It's going to be a continuation, so it's not going to be like a brand new story. At Home Alone, and I heard a door open. I was just doing, you'll be fine, Avro. But this time we're going to be following a dad instead of the mom, desperately needing help treating his possessed daughter. However, this film has a different dynamic because the man will try to locate Chris McNeil, which is Reagan's mother from the first film, to help him in this terrifying case. So yes, it is a new case, but we're still incorporating it with Reagan's mother, trying to locate her. So it's like a continuation, merging their stories there. And you like country music, Drew?
I like all kinds of music. Country, been getting into some of Falling in Reverse, and I
Okay.
blame you for that.
What about, do you remember Sugarland?
Yes, I have heard of them, and I've heard, what song was it a long time ago? I can't
Yeah, they had
remember.
many songs. I actually was a huge fan of Sugarland, but Jennifer Nettles, the iconic country duo, literally the main girl in Sugarland, will be starring as a key role. We actually don't know what her role is. It has not been revealed to us yet, but she will be in that movie. So it's going to be exciting to see a new journey there. So, yeah, I don't know what the trilogy, we only know this one movie. So they wrap filming, like I said, aiming for an October 13th release. This is exciting as a horror movie fanatic to see something redone, and I really think they will redo it great. The first one was scary. It was the first exorcism type movie of its kind, really. I mean, obviously in the name, but it was such a classic, and even back then it was scary. But then, when you watch it now, you're like, that doesn't really look scary. But now I think it's going to bring that fear, that realism, that get the demon, instead of pea soup, I mean, graphically, right? Yeah, it'll look better. So, really excited. Really excited about that. So, Exorcism reboot. You think you'll give that a watch?
What will I give a watch?
Exorcism. Exorcist. Sorry.
Depends if I find it on whatever streaming service I have at the
It'll
time.
be in movie theater.
Maybe.
I'm sure it will be shortly after, but um
Yeah.
yeah, this is exciting. This is exciting stuff, especially like to see it happen by Jason Blum, who makes great movies, like I said. So it's gonna be a good time. Usually September, for some reason, releases a lot of horror movies, but we got some good ones this year. We got The Priest, The Exorcist. We had Evil Dead Rise, really good. And so we've been on it because horror movies took a hit for a bit. We haven't seen anything good for a while, so I'm excited for this. What is the last
I
movie you saw, Drew?
in theaters,
Yeah.
you're gonna go. What's wrong with you?
What was it?
It was long. It was so long ago. It was Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Well, it wouldn't be May the
So,
4th if no one brought in Star Wars.
so in other words, the last time that I gave a flying bleep about Disney Star Wars.
Okay. Yeah.
In other words, they killed it for me.
Gotcha. Listen, I can't with Star Wars. I don't get it. I don't know why, but you know what? You know what? I think
Just, just, just give it a try. Yeah,
I've tried it and I can't get into it. I absolutely despise Star Wars. I have
I'll
watched
make,
way more Harry
I'll make,
Potter.
I'll make a deal with you, Brew. If you go watch the prequels and the original trilogy, I'll give horror movies a try.
I watched the first one out of the original.
That's the best place to start.
Disney is making a Star Wars theme park. Yeah, we have one in Disneyland. They have the Star Wars section that my sister
Yeah,
and I barely go in because when we go, it's just a bunch of things that we don't understand. But yeah, they already
yeah.
have that in Disneyland.
And too bad they're losing money on it.
Yeah, but you know what? Yeah, trust me. Yeah, Chicken Ruler has really tried. I wasn't really paying attention to even the first one. Listen, it's just not for me. Okay, it's just like Harry Potter. I watched it all the way until it was the last one I watched was Gosh. Oh my god. Goblet of Fire? I think that's what it was called. Yeah, that sounds pretty accurate. That was the last one I watched. I couldn't handle it anymore. And I
I
didn't even.
believe that was the second one, I think.
No, that was like the third or fourth. Yeah.
S- The Sorcerer's Stone, then the Chamber of Secrets, then the
Yes.
Goblet of Fire. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So that's when that came out. That was the last one I watched.
That's sad. The non Harry Potter fan remembered which one it was. That's
See,
sad.
that's because honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. There was a hot actor in there who had like such a small role, but like it was enough for me at least to keep me engaged. But you know,
Which which means, chat, I think we just found out that Brew is a closet Harry Potter fan.
no, I still followed that. No, that was the only like when I watched it, I was like, I always liked it, but I never loved it. I played the Harry Potter game on like the original Xbox. Like I never loved it, and then I truly hated it. And I kind of blamed the fan base for that. I think they're way too much of fanatics. Like I think people that are like Star Wars, it kind of feels like these people are like live and breathe these things. It's not healthy. It's not healthy.
Well,
It's not healthy.
would you rather that or we live in the effed up world that we're living in? I'd rather escape this one.
Honestly, if I'm gonna, I'd rather live here if it means I'm not going anywhere around Star Wars. Literally,
But
that's.
but I think it's obvious that you'd rather live in a horror movie,
Yeah, I think that would be. You know what I mean? I mean,
which
listen,
is
I would
which is
survive a
really
horror
weird.
movie. It's. I don't think Star Wars teaches you anything, but let me tell you something. Horror movies teach
It
you,
teaches you the difference between right and wrong.
and so does horror movies. It teaches you how to survive, how to not be stupid. It literally trains
That
you.
that's different from teaching you the difference between good and
You
evil.
would think with all these people that would know the difference between good and evil watching Star Wars, which is like billions, that they would be better. But you know what? Here we are. So clearly, Drew, it doesn't work. Clearly, clearly, the moral of the story is watch more scary movies. What is up, 925? Um, are you aware of what you get when you cross an elephant and a rhino? Tell me, tell us this. Before we move, before we, all right. I don't know the answer, but wait, no, I actually don't know the answer. But last thing, guys, before we wrap up here, those are our movie news. Um, really? Oh God, what's the answer?
Okay, that's not the answer I was expecting. I was
Uh,
expecting something a little.
so okay, never heard of that one. I have never heard of that one. Coming in here with the puns. We've had a lot of puns on this episode, haven't we?
I was expecting a horny elephant.
What? Oh, that's funny. That is funny. I actually never thought of that. I actually have known people that have called it rhinoceros, which is kind of crazy. It's rhinoceros, you know? But you know,
Hmm.
the world is in the world is in I remember people struggling with that. But yeah, those are our movie news. So guys, here is an update with what's going to be happening. So I will be out of town for about next Thursday. So I'm going to have a pre-recorded show and it's going to be aired next Thursday, same time. It'll just be pre-recorded. And then the weekend after, it'll just be an audio only, another pre-recorded show because I'll be out of town that day and it'll be on YouTube. I won't be available to be putting it live on Twitch. So I will give updates on that on my social media. But next Thursday, we will be here. It will be just a pre-recorded show. And then the following week, it won't be on Twitch, but it will be on YouTube. I think that's the 18th. And then you can find that over on Spotify that we have now and YouTube. I used that joke on you ages ago. You think I remember all the jokes people tell me? Hello? No, not gonna. I don't remember all of our conversations. I'm not gonna remember everyone's jokes. Uh, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I can't remember all that. There's only so much. I'm here talking about like my horror movies. I have barely brain capacity to remember. Okay. So and the show next week, guys, will be focused heavily around sports, which Avro was mentioning in game two. I think Oilers have their hands full with Vegas, who I think is utter trash of a team. But like I said, we'll get more into that. I don't want to get too off topic. Before we go, we always end it off on a nice quote about gaming, and this comes from Half-Life 2. You ever played it, Drew?
I have the orange box. I also have all the Half-Life games on Steam. I have not gotten around to
Yeah,
playing them
Half-Life
yet.
is good. Half-Life is for sure good. And this comes from a quote from Half-Life 2, which is the right man in the wrong place can make all the difference in the world. Man, I think that hits so deep.
Yeah, especially since I'm here at the last minute.
Yeah, he is. This was, and I appreciate that so much. It was a
You're
beautiful
welcome.
game. It really was. And right man in the wrong. I mean, let that sink in. The right man in the wrong place can all make the difference in the world. I think that is so relatable to today. So if those that think the world is ending have no fear, I think there are good people out there. You just gotta stop watching it through the TV. Touch grass. I think if anything we've learned today is that we should touch more grass.
Have no fear. Touch a tree, because the underground will forever be free.
There it is. Well, when you say that, Drew, it makes it sound like you're gonna start kidnapping people.
No, no, I'm just gonna start kidnapping palm trees.
And you guys heard it here. If there's a palm tree shortage, you think you were still in diapers? You do realize we're like 2 years apart in age, right? Chicken, that means you too would be in diapers. I don't know of any 2 year old that's like fully. Yeah, no, you do
if
know that. Yeah,
if you're
age.
all still in diapers, then I'm a teenager again.
There you go. I mean, age is just a number at the end of the day. At the end of the day. But I think that is so powerful. I think I love that quote. I think I'm going to bring that. That's something to be framed. It's so, that's an amazing one right there. For those that don't know where to find Drew, where can we find you?
You can find me as Drew Underground, where I do reactions to whatever interests me, because no one ever requests anything. I also talk politics over there with my younger brother, my good friend Joshy 064. And you can find me at Underground Gaming on YouTube, where I play my PlayStation games when I have a TV to play them on.
And you have
And
Twitter.
and I'm on Twitter as Underground Games, I believe, and on Twitch as Underground Games for Xbox stuff. You can find me on Steam under my real name. Unfortunately, I still haven't fixed that yet.
That's all good. Well, at least we know where to find you. I appreciate you coming on here last minute. I really
And
do appreciate it. And this
if
time,
if I'm available and you need me, I will try to make myself
well,
the opposite of scarce.
we appreciate that. Y'all know where to find us. We actually are on Spotify now at Unfiltered Brew Podcast. Y'all can find
Yeah,
us there.
I saw that and immediately followed. I'm like, well,
Yeah,
interesting. Click.
we're internet. No, we're not international. We're just we're definitely we're trying though. We're trying, but I really appreciate it. For those that don't know, for Discord, which by the way, if you go discord.io/brew crew, which all on my ending page, guys, you can find that. But for those that may just be listening to this, you can find all of it on my profile. But you go to the Discord, you can give us topics that you guys want us to talk about, or a story about gaming that's helped you, or whatever it may be, a quote you want us to read out that you guys love. You can find us in Discord. Yes, exclamation Discord, and that is only if Streamlabs ever mic actually works, which it never does. But anyway, if you go, oh, you know what? I changed Discord. That's why, because I have a new link. So it's discord.io/brew-crew. There will be link. All of these will be up. You guys can find it on my Instagram or my Twitter, whatever you find me at, even Twitch. You can find it in my about. Scroll down, click that link. That's where you can find it. I appreciate everyone here with the bits today. Thank you, everybody watching, keeping us busy. Next week, we will be having, again, a pre-recorded show all about sports. Drew, I thank you again so much for joining me here last minute.
You're welcome.
I hope all of you enjoy the rest of your night. Stay beautiful, people. We will see you back here next Thursday.